but I know you written down here. You were saying your grandmom, right?
Yeah, my grandmother Rosella
Yeah.
Pratt. It's funny how
Okay.
death bring about new life.
You way ahead of me now, cause that's yeah, that's what I'm about to say next. That's what I was going
Yeah,
to.
yeah,
Cause now I my own experience of like when I was younger, my grandma died when I was 6, and I ain't gonna go into the whole story, but during that pain, I didn't really understand death, and shortly after she passed and so forth, maybe a couple years afterward, I started writing about her in school and like poems and so forth, and and teacher was kind of noticed that early on, so that was like when my creativity was born. And I had another guest on here, Matt B. He wasn't even singing yet, but he was, he said pretty much his grandmama was the person that was the only person that pretty much knew he could sing, and told him he need to do something with it, but he just didn't ever really go fully into it until after she passed. And then and the B in his name, Matt B, that's the initial for his mom, his grandmama, and so forth. So that was a turning point for him. And then you now talking about when your grandma passed, it turned a whole new leaf for you as well, and your creativity and your whole outlook on life. So it's crazy on how, and I think about my dad, his death, that changed me in a certain way when I seen him go through. So it's crazy how, I ain't gonna say crazy, but it's just something on how death, changes if you actually look within when it's going through. Because sometimes we can look at death and look at it like when you driving and you see an accident happen or something like that, and we just looking at it to see what's going on, but it don't really affect us none. But and everything. Sometimes we look at our deaths and our family around us like that. But when you really look within and seeing what happened, and you change your ways, wherever the case may be, I believe it helps you to come out more better of it when you look and see how that person probably was living, or what that person was doing while they was with you and everything, the life they lived and so forth. It can affect you in a variety of ways. What do you think about that?
yeah, man, absolutely. Like she been with me from I've been with her since I was legit, like
Oh,
first born type. So
mm-hmm.
she know me better than anybody, and yeah, she was just the kindest woman. Like she was so nice, so nice. I rarely ever seen her get mad, upset
Mm-hmm.
about anything. She was just real grace, like a grace about her that was just different. And like you said, like I thought about death a lot as well as a youngster when my mother's mother died. That was back in like 2000. Like I had a whole phase where just death was the only thing on my mind, and I was just exploring the concept so much. Um, so when it's kind of crazy thinking about it now. So when my father's grandmother passed, uh, yeah, I kind of went back into that. But like I said, it changed. It changed me.
Yeah.
It just made
Right.
me look at things different. Like it's just
Yeah.
like, okay, all
Mm-hmm.
right,
Yeah.
I see what you're doing.
And like I said, on a health tip, now with my dad, he died of cancer. So, and I was going
Sorry to hear
through.
that, man.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
It's been 12 years now since she don't pass, and so we're going on 13. And when he passed and so forth, but like he was the one that got me into fitness, working out and so forth. And during the time when he first was diagnosed to the time he passed, I seen those, how seeing that transformation. A guy you look at as, I wouldn't say I looked up to him for as like he was a superhero, but you seen him as a strong figure, and then to see him as a shell of himself later on when cancer took down. So that took a toll on me, and everything, because I knew what kind of guy he was on in that aspect. And I seen a certain thing that he was doing. Like this was the time he started looking at stuff like Forrest, like what would Jesus eat, and started trying to change his diet and everything. That kind of stuck with me. Like why, you waited. I'm not saying him generally, but why wait until it's time to do it? You know what I'm saying? And then so I want to be aware. Okay, that got me into the gym even more, and started knowing, and it just kind of snowballed into what I'm doing now and so forth. But yeah, so that's why I said death can change you negatively and positively, but I'm good that you seen the more positive and help you to have a more positive outlook than a negative outlook on life too as well. But yeah, it's just something. But I just noticed that connection between us three, four as our grandparents and so forth, passing and so forth, how the creativity is born within it. It sounds like
Yeah,
there's a lot of creative story in that sense or whatever.
absolutely. You know, the grandmas, the grandparents be like the glue. They
Yeah,
be they know that cornerstone of the family. Like,
right.
yeah, it changed a
Yeah.
lot of people. So
Oh, most definitely, man.